The development of military aircraft has been, for more than a century, a direct manifestation of human ingenuity and its relentless pursuit of technological superiority. Like, subscribe, and share. Let's begin. From the fragile biplanes of World War I to the sophisticated stealth fighters of the fifth generation, every advancement has been driven by the need to go faster, higher, and harder to detect. However, with the arrival of the Northrop Grumman B-21 Raider, we find ourselves at a historic crossroads. This sixth-generation strategic bomber, still in flight testing, is not only the most advanced aircraft ever built, it could be, crucially, the last manned combat aircraft that humanity designs and produces in significant numbers. Its existence looms over the future of military aviation as a final chapter in the era of the human pilot on the front lines, closing a cycle that has defined modern warfare. The B-21 Raider, known simply as the B-21, is a masterpiece of stealth engineering. It inherits the iconic flying wing shape of the V-2 Spirit, but incorporates 50 years of advancements in low observability technology. Its design not only dramatically reduces its radar cross-section and infrared signatures, but is also optimized to operate against the most advanced air defense systems of the future, including the very high-frequency and ultra-high-frequency radars that have proven problematic for previous stealth aircraft. The B-21's objective is not merely to penetrate defenses, but to do so invisibly, anywhere in the world, at any time. The use of advanced radar-absorbing materials and next-generation low observability coatings makes its electromagnetic signature exponentially smaller than that of any previous bomber, ensuring its survivability in highly contested environments. But the true key to the B-21, and what positions it as a potential game-changer, lies in its digital architecture and its ability to be optionally crewed. The B-21 was designed from the ground up using a digital design approach, enabling the creation of a digital twin of the aircraft for simulation, testing, and continuous software updates. This approach, known as the cornerstone of sixth-generation military aviation, facilitates seamless integration of future hardware and software. More importantly, the B-21 was conceived with the capability of operating without a human crew. This means that the same platform can carry 2 human crew members for complex missions requiring real-time judgment or validation, or fly completely autonomously, controlled by advanced artificial intelligence. This dual mission capability, manned and unmanned, is the ultimate bridge to the era of autonomous combat aviation. The B-21's cockpit is intended to be the last ever designed for a frontline strategic strike platform. Future combat air systems that follow the B-21, such as 7th-generation fighters or next-generation air dominance platforms, are already being conceptualized as inherently unmanned. Eliminating the pilot is not a philosophical goal, but a physical and operational necessity. The immediate future of air combat demands a speed of decision-making and physical endurance that a human being cannot match. Artificial intelligence and autonomous systems are progressing at a breakneck pace. Machine learning algorithms and neural networks aboard next-generation aircraft will be capable of processing massive amounts of sensor data, making tactical decisions in fractions of a second, and executing extreme combat maneuvers that human physiology simply cannot withstand. The limitations imposed by the human body, such as tolerance to gravitational forces, fatigue, and reaction time, are no longer compatible with the speed and complexity of modern air combat. The B-21's aerodynamic design, while still needing to accommodate a human cockpit, already maximizes stealth at the expense of visibility and high-gear maneuverability. Future platforms will not have to make this design compromise, allowing for even more radical and efficient configurations. The next generation of fighter jets, known as Go for the US Next Generation Air Dominance (NGAD) program, and its international counterparts, such as the European Future Combat Air System (FCAS) and the British Tempest, are already designed with the concept of unmanned combat aircraft operating in tandem with manned platforms or as fully autonomous platforms. These vehicles, called Collaborative Combat Aircraft (CCA) in the US context, will be the true air superiority fighters and bomber support aircraft. They will be designed to operate in swarms, saturate air defenses, act as advanced sensors, and execute attacks. In this scenario, the manned aircraft becomes an airborne command center, known as a skytruck or network node, and not the primary executor of the penetration mission. The B-21 is the last platform in which the cockpit is still considered the central axis of a deep strike mission. In the future, that function will migrate to an off-board command and control center. The economic and sustainability arguments also reinforce the idea that the B-21 marks the end of an era. The cost of training and maintaining a strategic bomber pilot certified to handle nuclear weapons and fly a machine as complex as the B-21 is astronomical. Unmanned systems, on the other hand, require a significant initial investment in artificial intelligence development, but drastically reduce long-term operating costs by eliminating life support systems, complex ejection seats, and, most importantly, the need for a highly trained crew on every flight. The B-21 concept is that of an aircraft that is relatively easier to maintain than its predecessor, the V-2, but purely autonomous systems will be far cheaper to mass produce and deploy. The unit price of a bomber like the B-21 will be the last bill of this magnitude paid for a manned attack aircraft. Like, subscribe, and share. Furthermore, the B-21's strategic role as a long-range nuclear and conventional deterrent is crucial to understanding its place in history. Its ability to carry both conventional and nuclear weapons, and to penetrate any known or anticipated enemy air defense, makes it a cornerstone of a nation's power projection for decades to come. The B-21 is designed to be the airborne leg of the United States' nuclear triad, ensuring airborne responsiveness and deterrence, complementing land-based intercontinental ballistic missiles and submarine-launched ballistic missiles. This dual role as a nuclear weapons carrier and long-range conventional strike platform makes its manned development, at least initially, a doctrinal requirement. However, even this vital function will eventually be transferred to hypersonic and fully autonomous systems. Hypersonic missiles, which can travel at Mach 5 or more, offer reaction time and penetration capabilities superior to any manned aircraft. The successors to the B-21 will likely be hypersonic cruise missiles and long-endurance autonomous combat aircraft, which will carry the deep strike burden in the future. The B-21, in essence, is the culmination of manned strategic bomber technology, the pinnacle of a lineage that began with the aircraft of World War I. The transition from manned to unmanned platforms is a paradigm shift that began with unmanned aerial vehicles for surveillance, known by their acronym V1s, such as the Global Hawk, and continued with armed drones like the Predator and Reaper. The B-21 represents the latest major step in this evolutionary path toward the domain of high-end strategic strike. Its final design with a cockpit is a nod to current military doctrine and a mitigation of technological risks, ensuring that the deep strike capability is maintained even if artificial intelligence systems fail or are not politically acceptable for a nuclear mission. However, the technological trajectory is clear and irreversible. The future of combat aviation and military power projection is unmanned and autonomous. This inevitable shift poses monumental ethical and legal challenges that the B-21, as an optionally manned platform, encapsulates in a moment of transition. The question of liability for collateral damage in a deep strike mission carried out by a fully autonomous B-21 is a still largely unexplored legal field. Does the responsibility lie with the commander, the AI programmer, or the algorithm itself? International humanitarian law requires human judgment in lethal decision-making, especially regarding the distinction between combatants and civilians and the proportionality of the attack. By having a cockpit, the B-21 allows this layer of human judgment to be maintained for the most sensitive missions, serving as a temporary ethical safeguard before the world adapts to fully autonomous warfare. However, the speed of future combat could render human intervention useless or too slow, forcing full autonomy. The B-21 is a transitional vehicle, the last bastion of human conscience at the heart of the aerial warfare machine. Furthermore, the B-21's electronic warfare and network capabilities are the defining feature that cements its status as a sixth-generation aircraft. It is not merely a bomber, it is an advanced network node capable of collecting, processing, and distributing information across the entire combat force. Its electronic warfare capabilities allow it not only to protect itself, but also to degrade enemy command and control systems, acting as a force multiplier for other air assets. This complete integration into multi-domain warfare underscores that the aircraft's mission is no longer simply to drop bombs, but to act as the center of the air battle, a role that its autonomous successors will take to levels of complexity and speed that will be entirely beyond the control of the humans on board. The B-21, with its stealthy elegance and destructive power, will bring down the curtain on the longest and most spectacular chapter in aviation history, that in which man soared through the skies of combat as a pilot. It will be remembered not only for its operational capabilities, but as the epitome and the end of the line for the piloted bomber. Like, subscribe, and share. Until next time.